Okay, so I'm trying to catch up for you guys and get get these videos up for the updates for you, for the ones who like them, and the nasty people can just go away. Um, so I'm actually watching day 15 as we speak. In between doing this video, um, I'm going to talk about day 14. Um, Still on the stand is John Bradley, the owner of SideQuest Software Company since 2001. This was day 14, 6/9/2011. George and Cindy were not present for good reason, as you will hear. Continued defense recross. Outside of March, there was nothing to do with chloroform searches on the computer. No evidence of anything being printed out. When given the data, there was no printed out pages. And it said it's very hard to find out if anything had been printed from whoever was searching on there. Defense recross now. Or no, I'm sorry, state redirect. 3/6/2008 through 3/21/2008 was the only data he was given to look at. Defense recross, and then, not a whole lot there. State witness Lee Anthony's second time as he's being called to the stand. Casey has a pissed off look on her face. 7/15 or 7/16/2008, Lee was on the Anthony's home computer during keyword searches for Shawgrass Apartments. Did not delete any internet records or history. August 2008, Casey returned home from jail and had conversations with Casey, and Casey told him a different version of how Kaylee was taken from her. Casey told Lee she met Zanny and Zanny's sister at J. Blanchard Park. During that time, Zanny held Casey down and told Casey she was taking Kaylee from her, and Zanny did that with the help of Zanny's sister. Casey told Lee she was held down by her wrists. In Zanny's opinion, Casey was not being a good mother or wouldn't be a good mother for Kaylee. She, meaning Zanny, was taking Kaylee away from Casey to teach her a lesson. Also, Zanny told Casey not to go to the police. Casey's description to Lee about Zanny: normal height, about 5'8", 5'10", good complexion, long hair, Spanish, and that's from what he recalls. After reading deposition answer, Lee Anthony said she was about 100 pounds, approximately, darker complexion, like Tanny. Casey's reaction to Kaylee being taken away: she couldn't believe it was happening and it felt surreal. Casey did not do anything to stop Kaylee from being taken from her because she was scared and didn't know what to do. After Kaylee was taken, Casey said Zanny was controlling her movement and telling her, meaning Casey, what to do. Through MySpace, Zanny had Casey's password. Timer55 was a password for MySpace, which meant from date Kaylee was taken to Kaylee's birthday was 55 days, and when she would get Kaylee back, and Zanny made that password. Now, I have to say that kind of makes no sense, because if somebody made another password, how are you supposed to get into it, and how did Zanny tell Casey this, if this was the case? As we all know, this is not the case, but I mean, there's so many holes in that story that you could drive an elephant through it. Defense cross-examination did not go into detail about Zanny, where Zanny told Casey to go. To this day, Zanny has never materialized. They had a short intermission and recess. Attorneys took Casey in the back during recess. Mason M. Baez, smiling and talking when she comes back out. The state plays the 911 call about finding skull and remains on December 11, 2008. No reaction from Casey at all during this 911 call. State witness Edward Turos. He's an Orange County He works for the Orange County Sheriff's Office and is a deputy. Responded to Suburban Drive on 12/11/2008 at 9:32 a.m. Met with Roy Kronk and he took him into the woods where he found the skull. Passed the bag at first. He looked at it and left woods right away. He did not touch anything, nor did Roy Kronk in his presence. He called his sergeant while Roy Kronk fill out a written statement. The defense Kronk. Questions asked were objected to and sustained, told Baez to move on. Skull was approximately 20 feet into the woods from the street. Past skull about 5 feet. Directed Roy Kronk to his car and write a statement. Did not give him any other instructions. Recess. Judge tells court gallery to contain their emotions, that the next witness will be showing things and they should leave if they cannot contain their emotions. Before recess was over, Casey already trying to force tears out. State witness Jennifer Welch, Orange County Sheriff's in Forensic Unit for a little over 5 years, crime scene investigator. On December 11, 2008, she arrived at the scene at about approximately 11:25 a.m. It was raining and had dense vegetation. There was crime scene tape up. Took photographs before any searching began in the wood area. Showed photographs of dense vegetation of wooded area. Shows beginning of a path into the wooded area. Shows a picture of the floor of the woods with Kaylee's skull. And I did not see these pictures. I'm actually writing down what they're looking at as they're describing it. Looks kind of sad and has pretend tears in her eyes, meaning Casey. Shows another picture of the top of the skull. Casey looks like she is trying to work up tears and emotions while looking down and wiping tears that are not there. Pictures were not shown on the internet or TV. Pictures of skull, black plastic bag, off-white canvas bag, and a plastic Disney bag was shown. Keeps closing her eyes with head down. Shows a photo of skull, black bag, and shorts. Shows picture of black bag and canvas bag, duct tape that was on skull. Shows picture of blankets at crime scene. Now again, they don't show any of the skull pictures or the bone videos. I'm writing down what they are describing is in the photo. The blanket one, I believe they did show. Defense cross-examination talks about a detective picking up skull and other items and not wearing foot protection. And then it goes to state witness Stephen Hansen. He's a chief investigator for medical examiner office. Worked for almost 7 years. Shows pictures and he took of around outside crime scene tape. Casey again has a pissed off look on her face, and puts her head down and closes eyes. He said it was raining and cold while he was there. Lunch recess, Stephen Hansen continued. Vegetation was very heavy and very difficult to see through. And as he was able to investigate the skull more closely, there was duct tape on the skull. They showed pictures of the skull. Casey at this point is trying to cry with her head down. Shows another picture of skull with duct tape. He said debris was up to the eye socket level. It was also around the skull. Removal of skull was to get around the skull, collect large portion of the area, including skull and debris, to keep the skull intact as much as possible, and was placed into a paper bag for transport to medical examiners. He went 6 to 8 inches around the skull, meaning the ground, and tried to grab everything. Same process as skull is how he removed the bags. Defense cross by Cheney Mason. In one picture, there was a machete. Shows a picture, asks if part of duct tape on the ground. Skull was embedded into the ground with clutter. State witness Gary Utz. Chief Deputy Medical Examiner for Orange County since April 2008 talks about his background. Casey, uncomfortable and pissed off look on her face still. Showed pictures of a long bone, which was a piece of Kaylee's leg. Picture of human skull in the front lower portion, jaw, several pieces of silver duct tape with hair on it. I'm just writing down what they're describing. Hand. At this point, Casey's hand and fist is on her face with head down and eyes closed. There was 3 separate pieces of duct tape around Kaylee's skull. Shows jury several different pictures of Kaylee's skull. Shows picture of the duct tape after it was removed from the skull. Showed pictures of fabric laundry bag. Showed pictures of black plastic garbage bag. The bag had been tied in a knot and by the handles. They went to afternoon recess. They were back from recess at sidebar. Excused jury for the day. Judge tells media that Casey is ill and neither state nor defense wants to comment to them about her illness. Now, as they're starting to recess, my observation was Casey seemed like she was fine and well after the jury leaves and talking to Jose Baez. So, I mean, I know it was pretty upsetting stuff, but honestly, I really think a lot of it was put on for show, so to speak. Because how can you be fine 1 second when the jury's in there, and then be completely a mess can be completely fine 1 minute when the jury's not in there, but then a complete mess when the jury is in there. So that's what I have for day 14. That is the end of day 14. As I said, I am watching day 15 as we speak. So I'm trying very hard to catch up for you guys and get these updates put on the computer. So until next time, see you later.